Hello, everybody. It's Ilka from Growing into Wealth, and I'm here with my beautiful friend Lalita, who is a stress release expert. She has a business called Stress Free Fast. Welcome.
Hi, Ilka. Good to see you.
You too. And she lives in Tasmania, which is a beautiful place. Is it nice and warm there at the moment?
It's not too bad today, a bit chilly, but we've had lots of snow, which has been really beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, Lolita is very well versed in ill health. So it's something that she became very familiar with, having experienced chronic pain for 17 years while suffering lupus, fibromyalgia, and chronic fatigue. So now she has a sound background in addiction counseling. She's a wellness coach and also coaches with natural health practices. Her healing journey led her to discover meridian tapping, Faster EFT style, after experiencing complete freedom from pain.
Yoo-hoo!
So cool. Wow. So Faster EFT is fast, direct, and goes to the root cause of the problem. Yeah. So Lolita has combined the best of Western talk therapy with traditional Eastern acupuncture techniques. Faster EFT addresses the entire mind-body system, which includes what you think and how you process your thoughts, along with the body's response. It is a self-empowering system that gives you control over your past, present, and your future. Faster EFT can help you overcome trauma, anxiety, depression, phobia, and so much more.
Yes.
So it sounds just so amazing, and we both had experience in how amazing it is. But can you tell us a bit about your journey from this chronic fatigue and pain and that to where you are now, running a successful business, helping other people?
Okay. It was such a long period of time, isn't it? It's hard to believe now that that took up such a big chunk of my life. I was 40, very young, 40-year-old. I had, two young children still at home. I had two older boys that moved out on their own, and I had a little cafe I was running, a little Indian cafe.
Yeah.
And I just developed this incredible back pain. And I thought it was after I'd had a little fall. I fell in my garden in the home, and just had this back pain. And I went to my chiropractor, my bone therapist, my osteopath, and they just couldn't relieve this back pain. And all the MRIs and everything showed that there was nothing there. So it was on my coccyx, so I fell on my coccyx like that. So some of them said, oh, look, you might have like a little hairline fracture in your coccyx. But, look, I got to the stage where I could barely move. I was in so much pain. I couldn't stand, I couldn't sit, I couldn't do anything. And then the pain started to travel. I started having pain like everywhere, in my hips, in my knees, in my ankles and shoulders, everywhere. I had pain, and I went, there's something going on here. And this happened over a period of like about 4 years. And also during that time, like I could barely get out of bed. I was just so fatigued, so tired all the time. I wasn't sleeping, and I started developing like really weird symptoms, with my bladder, with my stomach, with like, chest pains, headaches, just all these symptoms just from, nowhere. And so I just kept going from doctor to doctor to doctor. I went to all the holistic GPs. I went to the surgeons. I went to everybody, and no one could really tell me, what was going on. So it took took 4 years, and then finally, when I couldn't get out of bed, I had to give my business up, and I just couldn't get out of bed anymore. So depressed, and I got diagnosed with lupus. I said it's lupus, and I remember walking out of that doctor's surgery just devastated, absolutely devastated. My 2 girls were in the car, I remember, and I was trying to hold back, all those emotions, being told, you've got an incurable disease. You're going to have to live like this for the rest of your life. And that was it, and take all these medications that are going to cause horrendous side effects. And that was my prognosis. And I remember, I couldn't talk to my girls. They could obviously see that I was very upset. And I came home and just went to bed, and I think I just cried all night. It was just devastating, absolutely devastating. And I knew very little about it. Really knew very little about it. And
it's really interesting that you use the words that you had to hold all that emotion back.
Yes, yeah, I was good at that.
And I'm really interested, Lolita. I mean, I obviously by then, because of some of your studies, you must have actually known that there is obviously an emotional connection with the body and things that have gone on with people and whatever. But how, I mean, you're in so much pain though. Where do you go? You've got some knowledge about how the emotions affect the body, but obviously not enough at that time to understand what to do.
I actually, at that stage, Ilka, I was 40. My background was in nursing originally.
Oh, okay, yes.
So I've always had a passion for health and helping people to be well.
Yes.
So as soon as I finished school, I went straight into nursing because I knew from a very, very young age that's all I wanted to do. And, my family tell me that I used to take this little bag to school with me with like a little first aid kit in it, Band-Aids and bandages, and all the kids at school knew that if they fell over and hurt themselves, just go to Lolita and I'd patch them up. So I knew from a really early age that was my passion. That's what I wanted to do. But, I only nursed for a short period of time while my 2 older boys were young, and then I found it really difficult to do the shift hours and things like that. So I went into my family's business, which was in hospitality, which was running restaurants, owning and running restaurants and catering. So that's what I was doing at the time I got ill.
So was there any understanding then of the emotional connection?
No, not at all. No. So it was after that.
It's amazing to think that now, doesn't it?
Yeah, on that journey of then I started to go to, so once I'd been to all the doctors, I then started going to all the naturopaths, to all the other healers.
Yes.
And they were the ones who started telling me. They were the ones who said to me, this is to do with your childhood traumas. This is to do with And
what was that like for you when you first heard that? What was that like to hear that?
It resonated, definitely resonated. I knew that it had to be something else because I'd gone down the path of it's viral, and it was because of the original injury and everything that I could find out about lupus. I went down that track, and I saw many, many, many practitioners to deal with that. But it was when they started to say to me, this is a mind-body thing. This is about your emotional pain. I could very much relate to that. Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about that journey then, once you started to learn more about this and that, what led to what, which eventually led you to Faster EFT?
Well, the thing was that they were all telling me that, but they didn't really know what to do about it. I did things like rebirthing.
Yes.
And I felt that touched some of the emotional factors. I did things like I did NLP, you know, which touched on it. Homeopathy, and I remember my homeopath was always looking at the emotional, you know, triggers. The naturopaths, most of them were all going in that direction, but they weren't really getting to the root cause of the problem like I know what it is now, you know. So I would just try pretty much everything and anything that anyone told me about, you know.
And did you see improvement? Did you see improvement?
I had, yes, I did. I had small increments, you know, of being able to get out of bed again, getting a little bit of energy back. So it was those things that helped me, not all the medications I was on. So by this time, you know, I was on copious amounts of medication. You know, I was on all the painkillers, on opiates, I was on sleeping pills, I was, you know, taking about 30 different supplements. I would go and have intravenous you know, vitamins and injections in my spine and just anything to just keep me going, you know, lessen the pain and severity, sleep, in the you know, the fatigue was just incredible. So
before we get on to then talking a little bit about, you know, Faster EFT and how that changed you, maybe it'd be great for people to hear, like, what's life like for you now? Before we talk about, you know, the changes.
Oh, where do I start it? You know, it's just so incredible. My life is just so incredible to be able to, you know, I bounce out of bed every day. I sleep so well every night. You know, my brain's working again. You know, when I was ill, I just had the most challenging, you know, my cognitive skills were just non-existent, you know. And when I started to get well enough, the first thing I wanted to do was go back and study and get my brain working again. You know, I just couldn't, you know, just, it was really frightening actually when that was happening, really scary. I used to think, oh my goodness, you know, have I got dementia? What's going on with my brain? It was horrible. I can remember I must have been in bed for like most of the day or something, and my girls got home from school, and you know, they popped in, said hi, I went back to sleep, knew that they were going to be okay. And then I remember coming out at about 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and I came out and I said to them, where's your dad? And they said, he told you that he was going to be at a meeting, da-da-da-da. Well, I had totally not got that, you know, and things like that were happening all the time. So there were my girls on their own till that time of the night, you know, and the old one just got them some food and, you know, but that was happening all the time. I just wasn't functioning at all, not remembering things. And, when, you know, it's incredibly daunting when you're trying to function, you know, in a family like that. Yeah.
And what about medication, Lolita? Do you still use any medication? Or
no medication at all? Nothing. Not even a headache pill or, you know, and I don't take any of the supplements. Like I was up to about 30 supplements a day.
Yes.
Everything you can imagine, vitamin C, vitamin D, you know, everything. One's for my brain, one's for fatigue. And I just don't use anything now. I just eat really, really well. I'm very particular about my food, which, you know, which I always have been. And then that was one of the things that was so frustrating, you know. One of the first things you come across is when you have an inflammatory disease is, you change your diet. And so first thing I did was I stopped all gluten, stopped all sugar, because I know that cause a lot of inflammation. Made very little difference, and I've been eating organic out of the garden. I've got a big organic garden. I eat out of there. I've always eaten really well. And so diet, making those changes to your diet is not enough, just not enough.
So we touched on it a little bit. With Faster EFT, you address the emotional issues, and you go back and address the memories and all the proofs and references and things. So for somebody who doesn't know anything about that, how would you explain this process that you went through to then address all of that, and how did that then shift these issues that you were having?
So I believe that it was exactly doing that, addressing my traumas, addressing the memories, that I was holding inside of me. So my first introduction was to EFT by my psychologist.
Yeah.
When I was in a very deep depression, I was suicidal every day, and I went to see her, and she told me about EFT, but I just found it really difficult to use at the time, because, like I said, I was just in this constant brain fog, and every part of me used to hurt, because by this time I developed the fibromyalgia as well.
Yes.
So that came later, and the chronic fatigue and a whole host of other, labels that the doctors just wanted to keep giving me for everything. And so the fibromyalgia, you've got pain in all your muscles as well. So I not only had pain in all my joints and the fatigue and the headaches and everything else, but then I had, pain in all my muscles.
Yeah.
So I couldn't bear to be touched at that stage. So tapping was actually hurting me.
And I remember you saying to me once, everything but your eyelashes hurt.
Yes, yeah. I'd lie in bed sometimes and I'd just scan my body, and I'd go, the only thing that's not hurting are my eyelashes. It was just incredible, And so the fibromyalgia, you can't bear to be touched. And I couldn't remember the script because you've got the brain fog. So it just wasn't working for me. So, but I understood how if you address your emotional pain, then your physical pain would, reduce or improve. I never at that stage thought that my pain would completely go. I just wanted to manage it, just wanted to lessen it.
Yes.
But so many years later, I'm telling a friend about, because I'd bought all the training, I had all the EFT training CDs because I was really interested in it. And I offered them to my friend who was interested, and I just said to her, have a look online, because I believe that there's been a lot of improvement since when I heard about it, which was like 10 years earlier, right? And when she was online, she saw Faster EFT. And because our conversation was about EFT being slow and difficult for me to use, she was really intrigued. And so she sent me, a video, and it was just spot on. It was just amazing, because this was when I was working in mental health and addictions. I was working with groups of people with severe mental illness with an addiction, and I was using all the tools in my tool bag that I had, you know, CBT, mindfulness, meditation, yoga. I was teaching them all these skills and getting some good results, but I could tell that there were deeper issues with those people, why they had the problem that they had, but I just didn't have, you know, the right tools. And I can remember driving home, you know, almost every day, just so frustrated. Oh, I just wish I could find something faster for these people to teach them how they can manage their, you know, because someone had come in a full-blown panic attack, you know, and I'd have to just sit with that person for quite a long time and help them to just completely lessen this panic attack. And it was slow.
Yeah.
And it was me helping him. I wanted him to be able to do it himself, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
And so I'm driving home thinking this every day, and then, you know, talk to my friend, and she sent me that video, and I said, oh, this is it. This is the faster version. And watching, you know, watching what Robert was doing, it was just so simple. I knew that I would be able to teach, you know, my clients to be able to do that, and it'd be really simple. And so I was very, very excited. Yeah. So, you know, so she went to the training and she came back, and at the time I had this horrendous knee pain, and I was booked in to go and have a knee replacement. And she said to me, you know, how about I do some tapping with you on your knee pain? And basically she got me to focus on some traumatic memories that I had. It was my right knee, so it was some male issues.
Yeah.
And so I went back to those memories as she was tapping, and my knee pain pretty much just stopped, just like that. Yeah. Yeah.
And it really is one of those things that if you haven't experienced it, it's kind of like really?
Yes, really? I know. It was too hard to believe for me.
Yes.
You know, you can imagine trying 17 years, all these things.
Yes.
And having a belief in them, because people said to me, oh, it was a placebo. I said, but what about all those other things that I tried? I had 100% belief that acupuncture was going to fix this, that the green lip mussel extract was going to fix this, you know, drinking kombucha was going to fix it. I believed in all those things that I did.
Yes, and I think, I mean, to some extent, all of those things are helpful, but they're not really, and just speak what you think about what I'm saying here. It's not addressing these emotional root causes, which are these memories that are in the unconscious mind.
That's right, which was what was driving my illness. And absolutely all those things that I tried, I'm very grateful for them. Yeah. Because that, you know, they kept me going. They did keep me going, and gave me those increments, you know, of managing the illness so that I could go back, you know, actually go back to working again. So I had 11 years of not being able to do anything. 11 years.
Yes. Yeah.
And so they are all beneficial, but the part that was missing was getting to the root cause of the problem. And so what I've learnt now, I'm studying a lot about the nervous system and how the nervous system, you know, functions in our body. And basically what I understand now is that the early traumas that I had suffered, they started at about the age of 2. My body was still, the nervous system was still recognizing the traumas that I had experienced as a threat, like, you know, not safe. It's not safe for me. So it was like trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma, and then I've had one more, and my body's just gone, well, it's just not safe for you anymore out there. You know, you're just going to keep hurting yourself emotionally and physically, because I'd had a lot of physical injuries as well. And I believe it was a combination of both of those. So when I work with clients now with pain, I always look at both. I look at all their physical traumas and all their emotional traumas. And as we rewrite all of those within the subconscious mind, then their pain just subsides, their pain goes. Because the body is no longer in that fight-flight response, reacting to needing to keep me safe anymore. Putting it very simply, that's my understanding of what happened with me. You know, as I address those memories, those painful memories, my nervous system then became calmer, you know, more relaxed, and it turned that switch off that it was in fight, flight, freeze. It just turned it off.
Yeah. It's amazing. And you do help many people now, Lolita, through your business.
I do.
Yeah.
I love what I do.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So would you like to speak a little bit about that and what you offer to people and how they can get in touch with you? Okay,
so what I discovered after going through my journey, that it's all about stress. You know, I had been under this enormous amount of stress for, you know, most of my life, but didn't realize it. You know, I was just doing what I needed to do, and I didn't have any skills or tools to manage, you know, what was going on in my life. And so I understand now that it's the stress is the leading cause of all illnesses that you go to a doctor for. And all the illnesses come under the banner of stress.
Yeah, definitely.
So I've created my business and my website, which will be live very soon, under the banner of stress.
Yes.
So underneath that comes chronic illness, you know, chronic pain, anxiety, depression, all the addictions, you know, fears and phobias, just sleep. You know, I've had so many clients these last couple of weeks with sleep problems.
Yeah.
And the root cause is always stress. You know, emotional pain that's caused stress, physical pain that's caused stress in the body. And once we work on those memories, then they don't have a sleep problem. You know, I love getting messages from my clients and, oh, I've had the best sleep ever. It's a world record.
Yay!
Yeah, it's awesome. And they have had insomnia for years and tried everything.
Yeah.
And we just follow that simple formula that we learn as a Faster EFT practitioner. You just follow this formula, you know, look for what it is in the subconscious mind that's caused the pain, the emotional pain or the physical pain, all those stressful situations, you know, the stressful experiences that you've had throughout life. And they don't have to be huge things. You know, we often think trauma is a really big thing, but it can just be simple emotional neglect as a child.
Yes.
You know?
And of course, when you're a child, it's very different. And when we think back as an adult, we often don't remember our childhood self, do we? And how it was for our childhood self. So some of that's in the unconscious that we've not really accessed before. So a Faster EFT practitioner can help you to do that and then release what needs to be released to be like Lolita and be totally pain-free.
Yay! I still find that so difficult to comprehend now, and sometimes when people ask me what I was like before, it's really difficult to even remember now what I was like, because I'm so well now. You know, I have an abundance of energy. You know, from morning till night, I'm just, you know, I've got great energy.
Yeah.
And I'm better with it now. I don't burn the candle, you know. I don't wear myself out. I don't go flat out and never stop. You know, I'm very mindful of the self-care, you know, and the self-love is really one of the most amazing things that I've learned on this journey, because you know, I'd been meditating for like 20, 30 years, and I thought, why have I got this illness? You know, I've been meditating all this time. But now I understand, you know, that trauma was still inside of me, you know. My body was still seeing it as you know. I love what Dr. Joe Dispenza says. He says, you know, we live in the past 24/7. And I had no comprehension of that before, that what I was doing, you know, my past was with me all the time. And now I've been able to heal all that trauma from the past. It's like I have a clean slate now to create the life that I want to have now, and be in control of it. You know, make really good choices for myself. And because I come from a place of self-love now, not of self-punishment, you know, not of constantly beating myself up. And you know, my negative self-talk was just really bad, you know. And
I think we can all relate to that one. Yes. Good at doing it for ourselves, aren't we?
Yeah, and I don't do that
that's something
anymore.
that massively changes with Faster EFT.
An incredible amount of self-love and self-care now. So, you know when I first got well, I remember this thought popping into my head: what if it comes back, or what if I go back, you know, to what I was like? Just dreading that, you know. I could never do that. I just could never go back to what I was like now, you know. And I know I had to do some work on that. And now I feel very, very, very confident and very strong in that, because I understand now how my mind works, you know, how I was doing it internally, because I had all the internal references, you know. I had all the proof there that, you know, but I don't now. So I know that I'll never get ill like that again.
Yeah. So just to finish up, I think an important point to make about Faster EFT is that it is an ongoing, your life gets better and better and better. And once, you know, if you have some big stuff to deal with, it is great to address that with a practitioner. I believe one-on-one sessions are one of the best ways, particularly, you know, if you are in pain, if you have depression, anxiety. It's great to be able to go and see somebody and really work with somebody on that.
Yes.
Obviously, Robert has a lot of free resources out there as well. But then you can't, once you've addressed a lot of the stuff that really needs addressing, you can use it on yourself for your life to just keep getting better.
Yes.
And I feel like you keep tapping on yourself till, as Robert says, till you kind of your dying day, really. But your life will just continue to improve when you do that.
Yes, definitely. And I know when I'm working with clients, from day one, I teach them how to tap. And so they go away and they know how to do it. I had some lovely feedback from a client the other day, and I always give them a call a couple of days later to see how they are. And, I'm tapping all the time, she said. And I'm tapping on the kids. And, my husband says to me, you need to tap on that. He says to
yes, people start telling you.
So, it just felt so wonderful to know that, she's just taken it on board, taking control of managing her emotions. So, from day one how to do it. And every day it's up to you, to then use it. And I've been doing Faster EFT now for 3 years, and there is just not a day where I'm not tapping on something.
Yes, exactly.
It's just such
and then there's not a day that there's not improvement.
That's right. Yes. You just feel so amazing. I can't believe how amazing I feel every day. And that's not like that for everybody. And people often say to me, how come it worked for you, after one session? So like after that one session I had, not only my knee pain went, but all my other pain in my body just gone. Severe chronic back pain. I was meant to have surgery on my back many years ago.
Wow.
The surgeons said to me, your spine is just hanging on by a thread. Look at your MRI, look what it looks like. It's, one day that's just going to snap and you're going to be paralyzed. They're the kind of things that they used to say to me now, and I have no back pain, or hip pain or anywhere else. So people ask me, how come that happened for you so quickly like that? And, you hear Robert talking a lot about beliefs, how our beliefs contribute to our keeping us unwell, keeping us sick.
Yes.
And so I believe that it was my belief, my core belief I've always had is that my body can heal itself. I can heal myself. I had that belief all along. And I just needed to find the right tool, to help me to do that. And that's what Faster EFT's done for me.
Yeah, brilliant. And now you're helping so many others, Lolita.
Yes, I've got a global practice. I've got clients all around the world. I just love it. And I do workshops and information sessions locally here in Tasmania. And then I've got my Facebook page there's one called Stress Free Fast.
Yeah.
And then I have a release chronic pain page as well.
Yeah.
And hopefully my website will be up soon. People will be able to go there. But look, my goal is to just try and reach as many people as I can, and to be of service. I finally found. I've always believed my purpose in life was to help people, and now I've found a tool to help me do that.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
So I get to have this amazing business. I get to have, to help people, and I get to keep healing myself, you know, and keep growing in myself.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
And one of the beliefs that I worked on, Ilka, was with you, you know, on my money blocks. And that's helped tremendously, you know, to be able
Yes,
to do that.
we will do another conversation about that, because Faster EFT tends to help with everything, because it's all about
Yes,
the unconscious
yes.
mind, and it's all about our belief system. So yeah. But thank you so much. It's been amazing to hear your story and to hear how much Faster EFT has really helped you, and how you're still using it in your life today.
Thank you, Ilka. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and I hope that you people watching this interview, if you need any help, then contact Lolita through her Facebook page, or through her website that's coming, Stress Free Fast, and just reach out, because there's no need to have to stay with that and be stuck with that, is there?
That's right. And you know, that's why I offer my 30-minute free session.
Yes.
Because I know that you know, this is something that's quite different and new to people. It's a different way of thinking.
Yes.
And so I like them to experience that, you know, just to build that trust and just experience it themselves.
Yeah.
And you know, in 30 minutes you will notice a change.
Yeah.
You know, you will notice a difference in what you're feeling, what you're thinking, whether you've got pain in your body or whatever it is that's causing you discomfort. You will get a shift in 30 minutes. I can guarantee it. I can even do it in 15.
You can.
You know, I always think about my young man with his needle phobia, you know, that he had all his life. And in 15 minutes, it was gone. You know, that's how effective it is. And then look, once you have that experience and you feel it for yourself, then hopefully that encourages you to learn about it more and educate yourself and work with it on a deeper level. So that's usually my approach. You know, I love to educate people, because it's not just about the tapping, it's about what's going on in your mind, you know, what's going on internally for you.
Yeah, definitely.
And then use the tool, you know, use it, and to help you make the changes that you want to make to your life. And look, we all have problems, you know, we all have things that we are struggling with, you know, that are difficult. It always shocks me, you know, when I see somebody and you know, next thing they're telling you about these problems that they've had for so long, and they haven't been able to talk about it before. As you know, I get so many people, they say to me, I've never told anybody that. I've been seeing a psychologist for 2 years and I haven't told them that. You know, but they're able to do that once you just give them those skills and those tools.
Yeah, it's so brilliant, isn't it?
To help them look within inside of them. Yeah. So thank you, Ilka.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity.
Absolute pleasure. So we'll sign off. I'm sure people will contact you if they need to, which would be great. And we'll do it again too.
That'll be fun. Thank you.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.